A great part of Europe is in the grip of an extreme drought caused by climate change.
Super alarming.
We will leave behind 2 dry springs, an unprecedented situation.
In the last episode, we told you about the historic winter drought in France. But the water situation in the neighboring country is no less frightening.
I hope people understand what climate change means, because it's been a year of drought here. It's not 3 months, it's a whole year without rain.
The 2023 drought in Italy could be even more severe than last year. In the north of the country, some 3.5 million Italians now live in areas prone to severe or even extreme drought. Over the past decades, there has been a disappointing downward trend in rainfall, which has worsened with each successive year. According to a study by scientists published this January in the journal Nature Climate Change, the recent decline in snow cover in the Alps is unprecedented in 6 centuries.
In Europe, for the 2nd year in a row, there is almost no rain. The snow in the mountains is less than half of what it was just 5 years ago. If the spring that is about to begin is as dry as the last one, we will leave behind 2 dry springs, an unprecedented situation that has never happened before. The consequences for our lives will be new and unprecedented. At this rate, we will even have to ration our shower water.
In February, there was 53% less snow in the Alpine mountains compared to 2022. And yet the Alps are an important source of Europe's water supply. The reduction in snow cover affects the supply of households, energy, and agriculture. The Coldiretti Farmers Association also confirmed that the situation is worse than last year.
It hasn't rained in almost a year, maybe more. Now it's time to plant next summer crops. But without water, we can't even think about sowing or transplanting tomatoes like we usually do. Without water, we can't plan anything.
For several municipalities in Piedmont, this February was quite stressful due to a precipitation deficit in the region. The amount of rain was more than 80% less than average. And if before the delivery of water by cisterns from the plains to the mountains was once a month, now it is weekly, and sometimes more often.
For several years now, things have become even more difficult, especially for crops, for production. Because beyond the fact of providing, the ability to have water for human consumption and especially for animal consumption in the future is becoming a big problem.
As you can see, the year 2023 in Italy was marked by a shortage of water, which affects the entire valley of the Po River and the Great Lakes. The large lakes are in a particularly difficult situation. The percentage of filling is about 40% in the Garda and Maggiore lakes and up to 19% in Lake Como.
I'm here to see what a real drought is like. It's undeniable that anyone can get to an island that just a few years ago was unthinkable to get to on foot.
Previously, the island of San Biagio on Lake Garda could only be reached by boat. But now it can be reached on foot. The water level of the lake is at its lowest level for the last 30 years, 44 centimeters above the hydrographic zero, compared to 107 centimeters last year.
Seeing the island turn into a peninsula is a pretty strange feature. We're seeing a little bit of what we had at the end of last year, which is that the lake level is, I would say, low for this season. Given that last year we had about 60 to 70 centimeters more water than the normal hydrometric level of Lake Garda. Today, we are measuring 44 centimeters over our zero hydrometric level. We have had a winter with little rain. This year, there will be little snow. This is exceptional because we've never had this in the winter, so a free pass right off the road is absolutely historic.
The water level of the river in Turin has dropped by 46%. And throughout the river the flow rate is below historic lows. Because of the effects of climate change, there is a risk of losing a third of Italy's food industry, whose main facilities are located precisely in the river valley.
We are indeed walking where the Po River once flowed. It's March, and with the snow melting, the water should have been above me, but instead the riverbed is completely dry.
How severe will the hydrological drought in northern Italy be in 2023? According to the Global Drought Monitoring Site Index, which is based on climate data, the summer drought in 2023 will be almost twice as severe as the drought of 2022. These findings underscore the urgency of developing strategies to overcome the growing climate crisis, which is worsening every day, not only in Italy, but in absolutely all countries of our planet. We invite everyone who wants to know about the real causes of climate change, as well as the existing solutions to the climate and other crises, to attend the Open International Online Forum The Global Crisis, There is a Way Out, to be held on April 22, 2023. Come, and don't forget to share this information with everyone you know.
A great part of Europe is in the grip of an extreme drought caused by climate change. Consequently, due to the emergency situation, some countries are already drawing up a strict restriction plan for water use. In Catalonia, for example, more than 6 million people in more than 200 municipalities will be affected by the restrictions. It has not rained normally for at least 30 months. It was announced that private gardens and public places will cease to be irrigated, and agricultural activities will have to reduce water consumption by 30%.
At first we lost the crop because there were severe frosts, and the plants died. This led to a decrease in the amount of products on the market. And now, when we are ready for the second phase, there could be the right amount of products on the market again, and prices could go down, as I believe, but there will be a shortage again, and prices would go up again. So we ask our minister to consider that the needs of the fields are like the needs of humans. They, like people, also need water to grow.
The areas supplied by the Tyr and Llobregat river basins are in critical conditions. As of the beginning of March, some reservoirs are only 28% full of their total capacity. The last 2 years, 2021 and 2022, in Barcelona, the capital of Catalonia, were the driest in the history of the city. And the first months of this year have worsened the situation even more.
The watersheds we have do not give us water at all. They are dry.
Super alarming.
We are very concerned because we have been having this for a year.
If this is happening now, it will be even worse in the summer.
Some of the reservoirs surrounding Barcelona are at catastrophically low levels. For example, the Sau Reservoir, the second largest inland reservoir in Catalonia, is now at only 10% of its capacity, while the Church of San Roman de Sau, which emerged from the water as early as last summer, is still fully visible. A dry beginning of the year threatens a return to widespread drought in Britain as well. In February, less than half of the average month's amount of precipitation fell here. Meanwhile, the country has not yet recovered from the record dry summer of 2022. East Anglia, Devon, Cornwall and the Scilly Island officially remain in a state of drought. According to the Met Office, England experienced its driest February within the last 30 years. The situation was particularly unfavorable in the east of the region. Meanwhile, most of the crops requiring irrigation are grown in East Anglia. Such an acute shortage of moisture is devastating to crops. Soaring energy prices are forcing British producers to cut food production, and many greenhouses are being shut down completely. Local supermarkets have already limited the sale of some vegetables and green grocery, as supplies from other European countries have also decreased due to unstable growing conditions, including drought. Even a single climate event, such as drought, illustrates the global scale of the extreme impact of climate on people's lives. Climate shocks can undermine the economies of even the most developed countries. Natural environment is becoming increasingly unpredictable for farming. While not yet so widespread, food problems are symptoms of a general economic crisis that will eventually only worsen.
The global crisis is a terrifying reality that has engulfed our world and will soon completely destroy it. Unfortunately, most people today are unaware of the impending threat. On November 12th, 2022, at the International Online Forum, Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity, there was presented a shocking climate forecast based on our mathematical model. Now, we know the exact date of our planet's destruction and the natural disasters that will cause it. This climate report is the result of 26 years of hard work by a huge number of volunteers, scientists, experts, and independent researchers. The climate Cerberus is gaining strength with each passing day. It is obvious that if we don't take any action, all of humanity will perish. On April 22nd, 2023, at the next International Online Forum, Global Crisis, there is a way out. You will learn what events will occur on our planet before the year 2036, and why the destruction of the planet is not the worst thing that humankind will have to face. There are only a few years left to change the course of events. We still have a chance, but in order to use it, all people must learn about it. Today, the future depends on everyone's choice, and the choice is simple: to preserve life on Earth or not. To prevent fatal events and find out what you can do to save humanity, join the International Online Forum Global Crisis. There is a way out on April 22nd, 2023 at 1500 GMT. Join in. Spread the word about this forum on all platforms, in all social media. Everyone should know about this forum. The official website of the Creative Society International Project, creativesociety.com.